Welcome to AwakeMinds TV. This is where we prick your mind. We tell you things, we bring in analysis to discuss issues that concerns everybody in Nigeria and indeed across Africa. Today we are discussing a very salient topic, and with me in the studio I have the amiable, very intelligent Shedrack Onye, a Public Affairs Analyst. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, Mr. Bode. It's nice to be in your studio.
It's nice to have you here too.
Thank you so much.
All right, very quickly, let's jump into the discussion of the day.
Okay.
Where would you say we are concerning the Nigerian economy today?
That's a very tough question, actually. Asking where we are at the moment. I would rather say, well, it would be wrong and unfair to say we are not anywhere. At least we are somewhere. But are we where we should be at this moment? The answer is no. Because every indicator, everything boils down to the fact that we're actually derailed for a very, very long time. So, and judging by what we currently do, or the kind of economy we currently have, it will be right to say we've shifted completely from the path to progression. But I would rather say we're on a path a little bit downward spiral. Now the indicators are there. Our current budget of 27.7 trillion is made of about 7.7 trillion capital project, about 9.something trillion recurrent expenditure, and of course about 8% trillion completely set out for debt servicing. Now we also have about 9 to 10 trillion naira for budget deficit. It tells you something is fundamentally wrong. Now it means that for a country of Nigeria, of our station and population, human resource, intelligence, nature of human beings we have here, it is so unimaginable and unacceptable from all indications that we should be having a budget of about 18.35 trillion as what we are generating as income.
What we are generating as income in the country.
It is unacceptable. That's averagely about $15 billion. Let me shock you. A country like South Africa.
It don't shock me.
Okay.
I'm already shocked. The country is already shocking me.
Now, a country like South Africa has a budget of about $69 billion. Egypt has about $104 billion. Now, that is, if you translate that to naira, Egypt's economy is running into over 105 trillion naira, while Nigeria is just 27 trillion naira. So, but let's leave all that. Let's come back home. How does this translate to all of us?
In fact, that is exactly where I'm going. Okay. What can we do to actually prioritize? What can we prioritize to stabilize this economy?
The very truth is simple. I think for me, I've always proposed something. If you check most of my write-ups on my platform, I use the word the apostle of fuel subsidy reintroduction.
You want the fuel subsidy to be reintroduced?
Absolutely. For me, that is the only way that we can get this country back on our feet. Not just back on our feet.
Because we all understood the gimmicks, the politics, the bureaucracy that surrounded the fuel subsidy. Okay. How a lot of people were illegally benefiting from this venture. Yeah. Now, if you are advocating for its reintroduction, okay, would you think you put these people back in business? No. You see, one of the major challenges we have as a country is that we're a country programmed on deterrence, not solution. Get the point? There are two things. You either address a problem or you deter a problem. You either address a problem or you deter a problem. And let me give you examples what I mean deterrence. You see this place we are. You have a burglary proof, you have a fence, you probably have a security guys out there, and maybe in the night you could ask policemen all around. What are you trying to do? We're trying to deter people coming here and burgling the environment. Am I right? Yes. That's the essence of doing it. Now, but the question you should ask yourself, why would a normal young man
wants to come in here at night or at any point in time and buckle here? Is it because he hasn't gotten a job? Is it because he hasn't fed? What is the motive? Do you understand the point? Now the point is, you should first address the issue, the reasons why somebody will want to come here to steal, rather than deterring a person that will come here. If you want to deter a person, it's going to be more cost implicative. You're going to get policemen all over. You're going to get CCTV all over. It's going to cost you more. But let's assume the young man.
With this point that you have made now, I have felt that a lot of government, from government to government, have failed in their communication processes. Have failed in their implementation processes. Of course, this is AwakeMinds TV, and most of the time we try as much as possible to amper on impact. What can we do better than amplifying the problem? So how do you think, as a public analyst, how do you think the government can better communicate to make positive impact?
Let's get to that later, but let me address a little bit issue. Now, what we're seeing is, when you talk about subsidy, the problem with subsidy is not the subsidy, but implementation and management. That has been the problem. It was actually going in 1974 that I brought about the idea of subsidy, and eventually President Obasanjo implemented in 1979 upwards. But the fact is this: we are giving to government, to people, our citizens, as a country then, but we're not retracting it back. Do you get the point? Now, the first major issue, let me tell you the truth. The decline of Nigeria, the structure was set within 21 good years. Between 1974 to 1991, to 1995 rather. From 1995 till today, whatever we are doing, we're just building on a structure that was already perplexed, deflected. So we're just putting blocks. Let's keep putting it
just
there.
managing. Let's keep managing. Let's keep patching.
We cannot do that because we have not set the structures right. I will tell you something. A certain leader in this country in 1974, during a BBC interview, said something. He said that Nigeria has so much money, but we don't know we don't know what to do with it. Have you heard that?
Do we have so much money?
That was the statement. I can quote.
But do you think we have so much money?
Yes, we still have money now, but the problem, we do not know how to use it and what to do with it.
What to do with the money we have?
Yes.
If we have so much money, why do we keep going?
Good. That's the problem. That's the problem. And let me go back. In that 1974, when it was assumed that we had so much money, but we don't know what to do with it, they implemented the first civil service reform of 1974, and it was called Udoji Award. And what would that mean? They started increasing salary from, if you're earning 5,000, they'll add maybe 10 or 15, just because they assumed that we had so much money, but we did not know what to do with it. It all began from there. From 1974 till today, we've run the same economic policy of giving to our citizens in the way, like through subsidy, through loan, through salary.
But don't we have other countries that does the same?
Yeah, sure. I'm coming.
I would think the one benefit of any government is to give to its citizens.
Every country in this world gives to its citizens. In fact, there's no country in this one to speak that don't have one that is subsidizing for its citizens. But the point is, they have a track-back mechanism. One, they have a database which they could get back from whatever. They don't just give you. A white man, sorry, I use the word white man, cannot give you 10 kobo without getting it back. That's why you cannot evade tax in Europe, in Western world. Because if you're not working now, and they're maybe giving you any palliative or whatever we call it, once you start working, the system does what? The system starts getting it back from you. So that the others who are there, who are coming behind you, will also benefit from them. But that is where we failed in the area of subsidy. That is what I'm going to. From 1974, from when we started giving, whether salary increases, we were not asking ourselves, how do we get this money back? How do we implement these policies in the years to come? How do we continue to grow this system? No, we felt there's money, so let's keep giving. And successive government has continuously run the same program without giving up. That's why today
this was the same.
Yes, that's why you hear today palliative. That's why you hear student loan. It's the same thing. Now, sorry, with all due respect, if you were giving out 530 billion naira student loan today, have you asked yourself, those who have finished school, where are they working? Is it not better Is it not better you provide job for them, those who have finished school, then when they are done, You now come back to give to those who are coming behind. Get my point? It wouldn't make sense when I give 250,000 to a student who is going to school. Remember, the parents hasn't gotten a home, don't have food to eat. The first thing going to use that money to take care of that one. Now the question is, why don't you provide job? 530 billion naira, share it into, that's about 53 companies with 10 billion naira each. If you start 10 billion naira company today, at least worse, you could employ about 200 people. If I'm right or wrong.
What will this company be doing? You see, sometimes when government come up with these policies, we also need to understand that there's a white paper, there's a thinking behind some of these policies that are being implemented by government. Is it so much that we don't take our time to really dig deep into what they want to achieve? I agree with you, the system is decadent. I agree with you, the system is broken. And we're saying, how do we fix it?
See, that's exactly where I'm taking you on. First, let us look at our implementation of programs. It is faulty, don't due respect. From 1970, like I told you, the same policy program we've run. Like you have mentioned, countries give subsidy, gives instant transfers to their citizens or whatever the case is. But the question is, they have a system to get that money back. Sorry, you are with me here, you are with us here 10 years ago under the general administration. Some who got 10 million naira. How many of them do you see today? What has been the effect of that to the economy? Now, the palliative that was given after the first subsidy removal of last year, 830 billion naira. You know how much is your own share out of it? Less than 196 naira. How does that grow you? No, that's the truth. How does that grow you? I'm asking, it's a very simple question. How does it grow her? How does it grow this money? It doesn't have any economic effect. But if you use that 830 billion, that's 83 billion naira. It's 3 companies broken into 10 billion naira per company. If you establish a company, a business like that, not government directly, there are ways government can do this. Yes, there are ways. We can discuss that later. I'm not saying government should take, but there are ways. That's formalities, that procedures, that documents that should be in place.
All right, now, invariably, we need to start asking ourselves. We've done all these things wrong.
Absolutely.
Where do we go from here? How do we leverage from international communities, economies that have done well? How do we learn from them? As a public analyst, we would like you to speak on that.
Beautiful. There's a lot we need to do. One, how do we grow a country? How will we develop a country that can generate enough income to run a system? How do we develop a country, a system that can redistribute our wealth? These are very, very key. You cannot run a country where you don't generate income. And 80% of the, or rather, let me say 70% of the income you're generating are doing what? Are going to private pockets. That's the problem. But it's estimated about less than 10 million Nigerians are actually paying taxes.
Right. Do you think this Dangote refinery will have any positive effect on the Nigerian economy?
For those who want to believe that it will, fine for them. But me, no, I don't.
I'd like to ask you why. Ladies and gentlemen, you are still watching Awake Mind, and you can follow us on all social media and platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. This is where we talk about Nigeria and Africa. Indeed, we awake your mind. We say things that would gear you up, that will make you believe that, so much so, there is still hope in this country. And I still have Mr. Shedrack Onye in the building, a public analyst, discussing the Nigerian economy. So we were talking about the Dangote refinery, and you were giving us insights of what you feel.
But basically, like I said initially, when it was coming on stream, being a Nigerian thing, fine, I was happy. But I also know that it has to operate within the global economic template. All right? We import basically everything in this country. It's servicing, staff servicing, or whatever, expatriate payments, whatever. It still has to be based on what is important. So you have to reflect inflation. Am I right or wrong? So you don't expect him to magically, if crude is selling for $50 outside, he should come back and bring your own down to 10. No. What it means is that, yes, it could fairly help the Nigerian economy to an extent. Because if Nigeria start giving him in naira, it could a little bit, if possible, tilt the price down. But it won't be to the level that is going to appreciate and help the average Nigerian person. That's why I go back.
Because of the auto refinery, we are not going to buy our fuel at 300.
You can. But then, like when I said that I'm an apostle of fuel subsidy reintroduction, I have my reasons. I believe strongly that Nigeria can very well subsidize its fuel for its citizens. Don't forget where we started from. Every country in this world has one thing or the other. It's subsidizing for its citizens. Either education, either it's healthcare, either it's housing, whatever the case. Yeah. And now the unfortunate thing is that those who ask for subsidy removal do so because of one reason. They actually don't understand the dynamics of subsidy. Subsidy is one of the greatest redistribution mechanism and consumption purchasing power stability. That is what purchasing power. For you to have a purchasing, you need to have a stronger economy. Now, I mean, about a larger percent of Nigerians today live on what we call multi-dimensional poverty.
Multi-dimensional poverty.
I mean, in a country where we have almost more than 200 people who wake up every day in the morning and ask them, where do the next meal come from? There is no how you can grow that system. Because everybody is looking for, what do I eat? Now, we should, if we subsidize the system today, which if time allows us, we can talk about a little bit. If we subsidize the system a bit today?
Okay. Of course, we're running out of time.
No problem.
We need to go. So, but I want to ask you, in a round-off, if you were to advise the Nigerian government today, policymakers, decision makers today, what are the 3 things, briefly, that you will tell them to do?
Beautiful. One, I will tell you to subsidize Nigerian economy. That is the fuel, because one, that will help reduce inflation, and then do what? Show up the purchasing power of the average Nigerian person.
It will help the average Nigerian afford more.
Yes. Then when you have, I would have taken time to explain some of these things. That is number 2. Then 3, make our foreign missions very readily available in marketing Nigeria. I ask you, our foreign missions are embassies. How many of them have maybe catalogs of, let's say, Innocent Motors marketing? How many of them have catalogs of what Nod Motors produce? How many of them have catalogs of what is produced in Nigeria? How many of them have at least our tourist destinations in Nigeria? Are they marketing it? But beyond that, before you're going to do those things, you have to get an environment that enables people as well to come in. Yes, that is where I come in with subsidy. But I'll tell you tomorrow, and I will stand anywhere to ask any Nigerian. The president himself, Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu today, can become a hero in this country tomorrow. He can walk the street of Nigeria, with Nigerians being his bodyguard. He doesn't need an army, he doesn't need police, because he will be a hero. If you could look back and ask yourself, how can we manage subsidy? How do we implement it? Let me ask you a little question before we round up. If fuel is sold for 15 naira today in Nigeria, what do you think, and how do you think it's going to affect the economy? Just a brief question.
If fuel is sold for 15 naira, of course, a lot of people are going to have some sort of relief. They are going to have a big relief.
Is it some? Yes. Everything in Nigeria will turn back and reposition itself. Crime is going to drop. Inflation is going to drop, because everything boils down to what? Inflation. And this inflation is an aftershoot of what we have when the subsidy was completely removed. Are you getting my point?
Thank you.
And if that happens, but the question is, you asking, where do we get the money to fund it? As far as I'm concerned, if I am there, I am going to bring up what I call fuel subsidy tax or fuel subsidy levy, put on every commodity in this country. Okay, if fuel drops to 15 and your tin of milk could possibly drop to 100 naira, do you know that I can add 15 naira and take from there? The company that is producing will produce more milk, and more Nigerians will buy, and I'll get 15 naira.
I quite agree with you.
I can spend on every other commodity in Nigeria, and Nigeria will function very well. You are showing up the purchasing power of the people and allowing them to springboard the growth of Nigeria through production, because the other money that is left from what is gotten from subsidy could be deployed to
to other things,
other
social amenities.
Everything.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shedrack Onye.
Thank you so much.
It's been an amazing time having you on the show. Yes, we've been talking about the Nigerian economy so far. Where are we? What can we do? How can we move from where we are now to where we want to be? And you have been watching AwakeMinds TV. Of course, we'll be back with you again another time. Don't forget to follow us on our social media handles: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, for you to learn more about how you can empower yourself by listening to analysts like this, and sometimes words of encouragement that's going to be coming from people that we bring in the studio. My name is Bode. I'll see you again soon.